Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to create this trampled path for my character. So here you can see as I walk through grass, you can see this the grass is affected by the path that the character took, and with time the grass becomes straightened up again. But if I run faster, you can see the path is drawn. So we have somewhat persistent, temporarily persistent, not persistence like, but a little bit longer path that is affected by the character on the grass. So yeah, this is what we are going to work on today. So here what we are using is the distance fields in the grass material to create this trampled path. And you can see these balls also affecting the grass, but they are not leaving a trail like the character. If we want, we can enable this effect for these balls as well, but right now I have only applied it for the character. And also these other objects also affecting the grass. All right, so yeah, and before we get started, let me remind you that you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects I have done in my channel from the Patreon page. To the date, there are over 2000 videos, and for each video project files are available. Once you become a member, you can access everything without any limits. And also in this playlist I have shown everything related to this stylized grass system that I have worked on, so feel free to check it out. You can follow these episodes, these tutorials, and implement everything by yourself. And now let's get back to today's episode. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment. You can see my character is doing some reaction with the grass. It's limited to only the place the character currently is, and these objects also making some reaction on the grass. So now the next step is I want to make this grass, for example the path that this character is walking should persist at least for some time. So we should see something like a trampled path. All right, so to do that, here let's create a new blueprints folder, and let's create a new active blueprint to represent a trampled path. Let's call this PP trail. Yeah, let's just call it trail. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this. Along the trail or along the path that the character is walking, I'm gonna have something like a trail that is created with static meshes that write into distance fields, and using that we will have some kind of a path that affect the grass along the way. Okay, so let me open this blueprint, and here I'm going to create the path through a function. So let's add a function, add trail objects, and here I'll add two parameters. What should I call them? I need some object count to show how many trail objects. I'm going to use spheres in this case, so how many spheres that I should spawn for this trail. So I'll call this trail segment count, and trail segment radius. let's just call it trail width. But the width will decrease as the trail goes further, so that we can smoothly make the trail disappear. So trail width, let's call it. And as I said, I want to add this number of static meshes along the trail object. So let's do a loop for loop. This is not the first index. This should be the last index. And let's add static mesh component. So here, what should I add? This is sphere. Okay, it's on the basic shapes. So let's use that. And I know if I open this, the width of this or the diameter of this object is 100 units or 1 meter. Yeah. So trail width, let's start with 100 units. So in order to get 100 units as the width, the scale of this sphere should be just 1. It depends on the object that we are using. So therefore, what we can do is let's add a variable real object scale. Should be a plot, and I'll mark this as 100 because we know this sphere we are going to use is 1 meters, which is 100 centimeters, so 100 in Unreal units. Then we can get the trail width, and we can divide this by the trail object scale. This would be the scale of the object. So if let me just connect it like this for now. Right now I only need to get some trail, that's all I want. Okay, and here location, let's do this. Let's make vector, and I don't want to change y or z, just x. So I'll use this multiply by trail width and use it as x. Now I'll call this in the construction script. Let me add some default values here. Trail segments, let's say 10, trail width 100. Okay. Add trail objects. Okay, now if I drag and drop this actor to the world, you see I have 10 spheres spawned like this. So let me go to grass area. So you can see this is affecting grass as well. And one thing to note is, as you can see, the path has a continuous width because these spheres are not scaling down as they go further. So we can fix it here. Instead of this, let's make vector, and we can do something like this. Only the first object should be in the trail width, and as it go to the end, it should become closer to 0. So we can do something like this. We can multiply this with some value that is derived from based on this index. So here I'll add divide and get the trail segment count, subtract this index. So for the index 0, this value will be trail segment count, and for the last index, this value would be just 1. So I'll divide this value from the tail segment count. This should give me, well, let's just connect and see what it gives us. Let me directly copy here and compile. See, now we have a trail that gets small as it goes to the end, which is exactly what we need. But here you can see we have some discontinuity. So maybe we should scale down only Z and Y, and we can keep maybe X scale uniform across all these objects. So we can do it like this: Z and Y. Connect, compile. Oh, what happened? Oh, this is 0. This should be 1. No, this should be not 1. This should be whatever this value. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, this value. Yeah, see? Now this is good. Okay. So now if I apply some invisible material, actually we already created an invisible material here, a masked. If I apply that to this object, now see, this is the path. So we can do some optimization. This trampled area doesn't look very good, but that's not a problem. We can optimize that. I just want to make this working as the first step. Okay, so now this should be dynamic. That means if I attach this to our character, it should follow the character and draw the path. But to test that easily, I'll set this back to default value so I can see the tail. Alright, and then let me open my character blueprint, and here I'll add this BP trail as a child blueprint to my character mesh, and a mesh I'll attach it to the root. Okay, so this direction wouldn't really matter because we are going to make this objects follow the character anyway. So, but I'll just rotate it so we can see that correctly here, and I'll make sure to disable collisions for this, otherwise we would run into problems. No collisions. So if I play, now we do have the trail, but it's not exactly a trail. See, it rotates with the character. So what we can do is, let's go to the trail and here I'll promote these are static mesh component objects. So let me promote this to variable and delete this. I did that because I need to get this object type. So trail objects, and I'll turn this into an array and add to this array these objects I create. So now that we have a reference to these created objects, I'll add another function just in case we need to clear this up. Clear trail objects. Get the trail objects, run a for each loop. I think as long as we are running this in the construction script, we would not have a problem with this, but just to be safe, let's implement a clearing method as well. So destroy component, and then at the end clear. Okay, right, and I'll call this before adding objects, clear trail objects, right. While we still have the trail or tail. Now let's do this. In the begin play, let's get this trail objects, run a for each loop, and detach from component. This should detach these objects from the parent. I'll keep everything word. Now here, see, now the trail is not moving with the character. Good. So that means we can modify the location according to the way we need. Now here, let's do this. We need to make sure the first trail object, the first sphere, should always follow character. And starting from the last object, it should follow the next object in the trail. So how should we do this? Let's get trail objects on a loop. But for each loop, just a loop. Because I only want to access the objects except the first object. So get last index, right? And starting index should be 1. So here we need to make sure that the length is larger than 2. Otherwise, there is no point having a trail. Actually, we can use this. This is also good enough. Okay, now we should start from the last index. So we can, with the last index, minus this plus 1. This would give us as we are counting indices from the tail to front, this should give us last index. When it is 1, this will give us last index, but when it is 2, this would give us, if we have 10, this would give us 8th index, and the other index would be just this plus 1. Actually, we can get rid of this to make this a bit simpler. This and this one minus 1. Yeah, and then trail objects. Wait, not the minus 1, plus 1. Trail object, get a copy. This would be the last object, and this would be the next object. So the last object should lerp into the location of next object. So get transform. Okay, and get transform. We should get the word transform, not this one. Get word transform both, and the last object should come to the next object. So we can do, this is the last object, we can load this into next one, which is this one, and then we can set this. So as the alpha, maybe let's get word delta seconds and multiply it, let's say 10, maybe 5. We can change this based on the speed of the character. And oh, we need to make sure this is between 0 and 1. So let's clamp locked between 0 and 1. Now this should be the new location of this last object. That's what we are going to modify, or the lower object between these two. So set world location and rotation. We don't need to change the scale. All right, this is correct. Let's see. Did I attach this to character? I did. It's not working. Why? Oh, right. So we need to change the location of the first object. That means this one. Get the first one. Set location, world location and rotation with the actor location and rotation. Oh, get actor transform split location rotation. Now it should follow, and it's not working. Oh, actually we should be changing the location of the last object. That means this one. Right, now let's play. Yeah, now it is working. See, the trail is there. So now you can see, let's again apply the invisible object. But before that, let's see how it works when the character runs. So to simply test running, let me add shift, left shift. This is just a test function, test event. uh, when I press shift, oh, not here, in the character component, set walk speed, max walk speed. I'll set to 600, and when I release, I'll set it to 300. Right, now we can run. If I press shift, the character is running. Okay, great. So we do have the path. Now we can now apply the invisible material here. M mask. See, now we have the path, but I think the path is too big, and also we can see the shape of the spheres. So what we can do is we can change this trail width. I'll promote this to a variable, trail width, trail segment count, and I'll make them instance editable so that for the character we can modify them. Trail scale maybe 20. Oh no, not object scale, the trail width. Let's see, this is okay, but now we don't see much of a trail. So let me again turn on the visibility so I can optimize this. Let's see how it looks. Oh, this is too small. Yeah, no wonder I didn't see a trail. Okay, that seems good. Better. Now that we have a smaller trail, maybe we should speed up the lerp speed. So yeah, let's promote this to a variable, lerp speed. It's 5. Maybe you have to find out what works for you. Okay, I have used trail width 50 and trail segment count 20 and lerp speed 15, and that seems to work well for me. See, I have almost a continuous path, so it works for running and it works for walking. Now let me reapply the invisible material. Okay, see, now I have a good path that follows me. If I want, I can make this longer too. This is good enough. All right, I think we can stop this episode right here. Now, even though I'm using this special tray for my character, these other objects are not using that. We can make them also use it, but I don't think I want to right now. But we can see still their interaction as well. Okay. So thanks for watching, and feel free to let me know if you guys like to see any other topics that I should cover in this stylized grass system. See you in another episode. Goodbye.